Let's have a little discussion about the categories of T-SQL statements, although we could extend these to cover plain anti-SQL statements as well. So in this module, we're going to look at data manipulation language, which we also call DML, data definition language, DDL, and data control language, also known as DCL. Now, DML with select in particular is the primary focus of this course. We'll start with DML statements. That stands for data manipulation language. These statements are usually the most common statements you'll come across, and they're the ones that you'll use to manipulate information from your database. See what I did there? These are comprised of select, which is used to retrieve information from a table or tables, insert, which is used to add new rows to a table, update, which is used to modify existing rows in a table, delete, which is used to delete or remove existing rows from a table, and finally, merge, which I think is a very handy little statement that you can use to either insert, update, or delete rows from a target table based on what's in a source table. These statements are the primary focus of this course, in particular, the select statement. Next, we have the DDL statements. Similarly to the previous acronym, this one stands for data definition language. These statements are provided so you can create and alter the structure of your database. These types of statements typically contain such keywords as create, where you might, for example, create a table. The statement create table, my table. Drop, where we would delete some object. For example, drop table, my table. Alter is the statement you would use to change an existing object. Maybe alter table, my table, when you might change the schema or layout of a table. Truncate, you might use this against the table to remove all the rows from the table. You could also accomplish this by using delete on a table with no conditions, but truncate has the advantage of resetting any auto increment counter you might use in a table and is generally faster. Alrighty then, time to bring this to a close. And what better way to finish off than with DCL statements or data control language? Are you seeing a pattern here? DCL statements are all about controlling access to the objects in your database. Who can and who can't read from tables, for example. There's only 3 of them to be concerned about. Grant. That sounds great. It grants a permission on something like, say, grant select on a table, which means when you run select query against the table, you'll actually see some results and not an error message like the select permission was denied on the object, whatever, database something, blah, blah, blah. Deny. Whoa, that sounds pretty serious. And it is. The issue here is that even though you might have permission like grant select through some role that you're a member of, if there's a single deny anywhere, you won't be allowed to do that particular thing. It's like taking a sledgehammer to a carpet tack. Revoke. If you've decided that someone shouldn't have a particular permission that you've previously granted, then you would simply revoke that permission. You would really only use deny in very specific circumstances. So that wraps up the 3 categories of T-SQL statements. Join me for our next discussion on the elements of a T-SQL statement.